What's really good? Good Saturday. I was about to say good evening, good afternoon, good late. It depends on where you are. Depends
Where
on
you
what you're
at?
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where you at. More most importantly, but happy Saturday. This is your girl Toya G. Happy to be here with y'all, Chop Nation. You know, tap in. Come on, come in the room. It's time for us to connect with each other and do what it is that we need to do and that we try to do week to week to just to keep it together. I'm so happy that I'm never alone. Instead of being alone, I'm here with my dog. The political plug is in the building. Plug, how you doing? How you feeling? What's the
I'm doing
word?
phenomenal. Doing phenomenal. It's a fun Saturday for me. I'm doing the chop up. We getting it in. We wasn't able to get it in Thursday, but we getting it in today.
Yeah.
And then I have a debate. Got to do a little promo. I will be debating on YouTube later today, like 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, I got to figure that out where y'all at.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a debate about immigration. Well, really about immigration and blackness. You feel me? Can you be anti-immigration and be black first? If y'all know the chop up, fuck no. That shit makes no fucking sense. But
None of
you know what I mean? I'll be able to break that down a little bit later today. So yeah, if y'all got the opportunity, it'll be on my man Psychopatheist channel, at Psychopatheist on YouTube. I'm gonna try to stream it over here too, so y'all be on the lookout, so we can get it streamed over here too. So yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be a full Saturday.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's a full Saturday. Speaking of full Saturdays, it's been a full 14 or so days. Give or take, maybe a little less, but it's felt like a year. I mean, I think what did I found a meme? What did it say? Let me find it. Let me go to my gallery. What that thing said. January was a tough year, but we made it. Um, and golly, because it just never stopped.
Never.
It started to rain. Matter of fact, it didn't start to rain. We started with fires. We started with a whole lot of chaos and crazy stuff right in our area, and before we knew it, the metaphorical rain started to come. Shout out to Miss Mam in the comments. Here with the family. Uh, Miss Ma'am said, "Can you drop the channel in the chat just to make sure that folks don't miss out?" Because I know you said psychopathy or something like that. Folk might not know how to spell that, but it's crazy.
Right.
I'm just like, it's crazy. And shout out to everybody in the comments. If you watching, if you come in, make sure you say what's up. If you watching after the fact, make sure you say what's up in the comments, even if you're not watching live. But I guess I'm beating around the bush just to kind of say it's been crazy out here. It's really been every day, every single day. If it's not some wild executive orders, it's some wilder confirmation hearings and people getting through the confirmation hearings. It shouldn't be. We got a whole Secretary of Defense. We got a whole god doggone who the brown man who on the stand talking crazy. He trying to be the director of the FBI. We done had so many different people just show their ass in these confirmation hearings, and so that's been wild. Then we know about the plane crashes. It was 3 in one day, and it was other ones other days, and it's a lot of stuff going alongside that. Then I seen a tweet that really is the honest to God truth I think about my life. You want to know what the tweet said? Plug.
What did that say?
Tweet said, I have seen the word ZEI more in the last 2 weeks that I've seen in my entire life.
That's a fact.
And I'm black. I think I don't think that I don't think it can compare to
That's a
how
fact.
many times I've seen DEI on something just compared to my entire life. And so I'm just very like I'm numb, but I'm actually also very tender and very like just kind of well, speaking of what I am, I
Yeah.
guess I'll go ahead and ask my first question. And this is to the chat as well. What is the first word plug you hear of when you think about America since 120, since January 20? What is the one word and why that you think of when you think about America, the state of America since January 20th? Same question for the chat.
Uh, deserving.
Okay.
Deserving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deserving. I did
Yeah.
ask why, so I'm ready for this scathing read. Why is the one word you think of when you think about America since January 20th deserving?
Because it's like y'all like Americans want to be stupid. Like if we just being 100% honest about it, Americans want to be stupid, right? We allowed ourselves to get caught up with some of the most inconsequential conversations. The like what mattered when it came to our voting calculus and our electoral conversations was so like surface level and shallow. Like it undermined the entire process. It's like all of this engagement and involvement in the political conversation that existed because of social media, like more than, maybe even times in the past, was just, it was empty. You feel me? Like it was more conversations about, whether or not Kamala Harris was black than whether or not she was qualified to actually do the fucking job, or whether or not, we can say this now and be blunt about it. It was a question of whether or not, or which politician, which one would at least not attack civil rights. You know what I mean? At a bare minimum, you would think that we have, like this. At some point, we at least understanding that there's a choice between somebody who's actively running with white nationalists and then somebody who contributes to the white nationalist power structure. Are we dealing with white nationalism on both instances? For sure we are. Yes, like without a doubt. However, when the choices are literally between the power structure as it exists and a motherfucker trying to like turn the settings back, you know what I'm saying? Like that's an entirely different conversation. And so I think the fact that we allowed ourselves to get so caught up on everything outside of the capacity to do the job, the capacity to be like to be not perfect, but shit, like not this.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think that the bar was whether or not they'll leave civil rights alone. You know what I mean? But here we are. So yeah, the fact that we allowed ourselves to get caught up with so much stupid shit, like this is kind of, we deserve this.
This country deserves it. I don't deserve shit. And so Miss Ma'am said, not a hit dog howling on real time. Yes, we do performance podcasting here. And so we try to make sure that if we have a sound effect we can throw in there, we throw it in. So you heard the dog in the background literally demonstrating the deserving nature. The hit dogs are hollering right now. I think what's very interesting in terms of even what you were talking about is that niggas thought they were safe. So for everybody who thought they were safe, that's who really did. You kind of deserve it. It's a lot of people who thought they was safe and they voted a certain way, either because they thought immigration wasn't coming to your door, or you thought that, you were safe because all you wanted was some better economy. So you wasn't affected by none of the anti-gay, anti-trans. By the way, I think either Trump or I want to say the White House website now only says LGB. They've taken the T off of everything. They've also demanded that all federal employees take pronouns out of their signatures on their emails. So if you want to ask any questions about what's under attack, then you thought shit was sweet, because you just wanted some cheaper groceries. You thought, and you deserve, because you thought she was going to be safe from the worst parts of it, the deepest implications of it. And for a lot of people that came to your front door, I'm talking to blacks for Trump, I'm talking to Latinos for Trump, I'm talking to gays for Trump, I've seen it all, women for Trump, I'm talking to all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit wild to me. And so when you say deserving, that rings a bell to me. Next question is, what word, and let me make sure I ain't missing nothing in the chat in terms of this. What's good, Jamal? Happy to have you in the building. As you come in, if you come in, hit that thumb, say what's up, exactly how that played. But Plug, what's the first word you think of when you think about America over the next 4 years? What's the first word? You can't use deserving or deserved again. What is a word that you think of when you think about America over the next 4 years?
A word I think over the next 4 years.
Yeah.
If it's still what it is over the next 4 years, lucky. If it's able to, literally, if America has any semblance of whatever it was, let's say in the Obama era, let's say that, right? Because I think we could say like that was the heyday of liberalism, because like liberal politics, progressive politics have not, have actually lost, gains, like if we look at the Democratic Party now, like, you know what I mean? Like, we say, when you look at it, who we looking at? What is
Yeah.
what is the leadership? What is the voice? What is the because the anti-Trump shit wasn't working. They're trying to be, a part of are trying to create some coalition with moderate Republicans didn't work. So what the fuck? Like, what is the Democratic Party in that context? And so, like, I don't think that what America will be in 4 years is gonna look anything like it did leading up to this presidency. Primarily because like this is the changes for the worse or for the better are about to be big.
Mm-hmm.
For the like whether they gonna change society again like to our benefit or whether it's bad or it's gonna be all bad, it's gonna have a hell of an impact. The status quo can't maintain it. Like Donald Trump is an example that the status quo can't maintain itself.
Okay, so
It
you're
can't
saying
function like that.
so you're saying either we are going to wake up and fight back in some of the most dynamic and big and impressive and all inspiring ways, or this is the demise. This cooked. Is that a fair extrapolation of what you're saying?
Yeah, like people are either going to like white nationalism is self-destructive.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like everything is a zero-sum game for them, and so what you're seeing now, like literally since I'm gonna say about a century's worth of progress to push back against the discrimination and anti-black and bigoted attitudes, literally over the course of 2 weeks has been set back. Yeah, I mean, so it's like either that's going to continue to happen, or niggas is gonna really take this shit serious and be like, we not doing it like this no more. Those are the only two choices. What the we cannot after Kamala and after Kamala's done. After Obama, Kamala's done. We've seen the death of the Democrat as we knew it. The Obama era, the Obama-led Democrats, that shit is gone. It's over with. So now, if Trump would have lost, that would have been the end of MAGA. MAGA wouldn't have had a chance. It would have been all downhill. So I was saying back then during the election that this whatever happens in this election, whoever wins or whoever loses, they party dead. They party dead. Like MAGA may just have one more administration, you know what I'm saying? But Democrats is done for. Dead in the water.
Yeah.
Dead in the water. So it's either going to be all bad or we're gonna see some real change in this country.
That's more than one word, but that's a hell of a picture you painted. I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of, it kind of gave me chills a little bit because I think that is a crossroads. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, like, it makes a lot of sense because of how much unearthing has been done. Like, the kind of tiptoe around, like, no, you got to walk heavy. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in church culture. You know, you walk heavy. Like, that's when somebody was really in there preaching and getting in their bag. You really going to have to get in your bag to go and turn some stuff around because you're literally about to have to reverse like almost 180 some shit. A lot of times I think the appendages of the government and what it did was just calculating a certain degree. We had 92 degrees, we want to be closer to 90, or we want to be closer, you know what I'm saying? It was just like things have been literally flipped on his head in a lot of ways.
Flipped on his head.
Now, I mean, it's gonna have to be sharp turns, and I can only wonder in what ways how quick it can be done. Because I mean, I think about the weight loss, like the weight loss and weight gain, and how for some people like myself, you know what I'm saying? Like it's real easy to jump one direction and it's very hard to jump the other, right? Like, so it's very hard it's easy for me to gain. You know what I'm saying? Give me 2-3 weeks. I had over Christmas, and I'm gonna tell my testimony because I lost it all then some. But between, I say December 5th, because that's when my boy came in town, to January 6th, I had gained like 17, 18 pounds. He came in, we foodies, we saved stuff and shared stuff on Instagram and stuff like that. He popped in, we ran around. Christmas came up, went home, enjoyed every noodle, every dressing, every turkey wing, and 3 and 4 times over because I'm with my peoples. Went and did New Year's, went and did whatever. And it was so easy to do. But it's never easy to chip away and get back on track. And I've had to fight for my life, you know what I'm saying, to get that stuff to fall back off. What am I saying? The connection to these government processes are the same. We've seen, and to a lot of people's chagrin, a lot of people have criticized the fact that for some Democrats who ain't been able to do nothing, to look at Donald Trump and the way he's been able to throw around weight that fast, it does make people scratch their head like, what happened till we can't? But we also have to recognize within that observation that a lot of the ways that shit is being done is absolutely illegal, absolutely unconstitutional, and at the very least, at the lightest of weight, unethical. Mm-hmm. Right? Just downright, just problematic for the country that has already been created. And so it is very wicked how the undoing of this thing seems like very almost impossible. So I'm gonna go ahead and push the conversation forward. And actually, I'm gonna go to the comments because what Jamal said, chaos, right? That's the word that would be used, that they would use to describe America over the next 4 years, is chaos. And that's how I feel. I don't understand a lot of nothing. Yeah. Right now. So me and Plug, before we got on, we was talking about the fact about 2 hours ago, the New York Times tweeted this. Let me get to it. Elon Musk lieutenants have now gained access to the payment system that releases federal funds after a standoff with a Treasury official. So I'm gonna read it again. Elon Musk lieutenants now have access to the payment system that releases federal funds after a standoff with the Treasury official. Now the Plug, April 15th. Do you know what that date is?
Taxes.
That's tax day, right? Taxes. It's a lot of people, especially poor people, already exactly get it done. But now for fucking what? Because we know that one of the plays is to get rid of the IRS. They don't want to spend money and send money back to you. They're not trying to send no checks to you. They don't want to send money out. They trying to cut the blow. They trying to cut those things. So I dare to believe if you waiting on an income tax check, you might want to hold the phone. You know what I'm saying? Get some patience or figure out what's next, because all of this is so unstable and unpredictable. Like, this is an example of chaos. A federal judge had to come in and say, you can't cut Medicare and you can't cut food stamps and you can't cut student loans.
And you can't just get rid of naturalization. Like, we can keep like
these are like, you can't do that. Like, people are having, he's testing the limits. And people are having to intervene. And then, of course, let's not forget all the inspectors general, right, that have been released, that was literally removed from their offices, from their workplaces. Because, and that process is not like that. They can't get fired. They can't be relieved. They can't be bribed with. Like, it's just, let's see. The GA Freeman, shout out to GA Freeman in the comments saying, yep, I heard that official resigned today. Like, it's... what are we doing? Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. This is where we at, because this is the spot, right? Remember we said I was like, I'm gonna get it in, right? This is the spot. This is the spot to do it.
I still got some other stuff we're gonna work through, but this is the spot.
This is the spot where we're gonna do it, because I think more so now, like, than ever, with these plane crashes, we're starting to see the results of voters' decision making. We're starting to see the results of voters' decision making. All of the conversation, and this is what was great about the election being over. All of the conversation we was having about, you know, what Donald Trump could do, what he would do, how much better he would be, and it's like, and when we get to see it in action, Donald Trump is terrible. He's a terrible fucking leader, and this many Americans was convinced that, yeah, we should put him in the office of presidency. Trump's comment on crash bring attention to his orders ending FAA DEI policies. Right? After this shit took place, Donald Trump got up there and literally tried to say that like DEI and the FAA's focus on DEI was the reason why this shit took place, right? But what we know is that on January 20th, the FAA administrator was told to resign. By who, Toya? Elon fucking Musk. Elon fucking Musk.
The non-elected official who is not a U.S. citizen? Is that the same Elon?
Look, so when we looking at things like, all right, what's happening to what would just cause planes to crash into each other? Like, that's not some normal shit, right? Like that. I think they said like the last time some shit like that happened, It was like what, 25 years ago or some shit. Like this is kind of odd, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look at what he's doing. Look at these people's direct actions. Look, DC plane crash raises questions about Trump aviation personnel changes. When what they're saying is the reason why that accident happened is because they didn't have enough air traffic controllers.
Bruh, did you hear that they was the Biden administration was trying to hire something like, I want to say 2,000 because they already didn't have enough? Did you also know that the person who was running air traffic control that particular night in DC was doing the job of two people?
Up to
Like, what do you mean? What are we really talking about? If we're gonna call it how we calling it, and this shit is so murky and so ugly, we might not never understand the truth about this because of how, to what extent they having to go through to be private and secretive about the military's role in this particular thing. Because we tend to talk about the individuals on the flight and the FAA and shit like that, but let's not forget that there was a collision with another air machine. You know what I'm saying? Another method of aviation in that Black Hawk. And we keep not having that conversation. But did you also know that the military has been requesting not to release the identity of those who were on the Black Hawk because they are concerned, the families are concerned that people are going to be critical of those people and pick apart their lives who lost their life in a freak accident. But like then people are also suspicious about Black Hawks and what they supposed to do and why were they up there and why was they doing. So it's so many levels and layers to this shit.
And you know what bothers me though, Toya, is
what's bothering you, plug? Because I'm bothered.
People, but because people will get more caught up in the layers and levels, and not just look at it, but like for what it is, brass tacks. Donald Trump hindered the agency.
Yeah.
Donald Trump undermined the effectiveness of the FAA. And all the conspiracy and all, days before this took place, we're talking about a understaffed organization that's clearly extremely important.
Yeah.
This is clearly why you have to, and I can imagine somebody running behind Trump talking about, do y'all really need to? Yes, this is why you really need to. This is why you have experts talk about what's necessary and what's not. This is where, Toya, this is where I say, this is where talking about having a businessman in office is beneficial. This is where it's the exact opposite. Because for trying to think of it from a profit, we need to trim the fat. You're not thinking about what's necessary to provide the service of keeping the airs clear and safe.
Yeah.
You thinking about saving money.
And here's the thing, right? What did we learn about during the pandemic when all types, if y'all recall, it was all types of pilots quitting and demanding raises and things like that because they was like, we're not being paid appropriately. It's not enough of us. We don't live sustainable lives, like the way, how long we got to fly, like all of this shit is getting very suspicious. We underpaid for our skill set. And they started to recognize that aviation, some of those higher skilled jobs, the working class and education was not equipping people to get into, which is why let's go ahead and drop the bomb here. Initiatives like, hey, Black and brown people, you know, those fields that you've been discouraged from, that you don't really see yourself a lot in, those fields that you can do just as good, you should start to think about it, considering taking these jobs, because the white people that usually do them ain't getting these certifications. They're not becoming pilots anymore. It's not there. So we're doing an all call because we have an industry that is teetering on instability because of workloads, because of this, because of that. So there are attempts to mediate the issue that deal with the systemic ways that the issue is not being mediated because there are not enough qualified candidates to go in and fulfill the roles, which then would justify a, increase in pay and an entire reworking of a system that validates the people who are fulfilling the workforce. I'm not an economist. I'm just using common sense in the way that links work in a chain. And so when you sit up here and you look at these criticisms, and shout out to everybody in the chat having conversations. I'm in purgatory to the most high come. G.A. Freeman, all of y'all, Miss Ma'am, of course, having conversation. I think Pure Black was in here. What's up to everybody? This shit is just kind of mind-blowing because all of these, it's all because of his ineptitude. And now you want to cut that off. You want to stop that. I'm supposed to feel better. And this tweet has been going around in this conversation I've been seeing on social media a lot. You know what I'm saying? People are like, I think the little press lady, the press secretary for the White House talking about, I don't know about you, but when I get on the plane, I'm more worried about, I'm not worried about the color of my pilot's skin, i.e., like I want them to be black or brown as much as I'm worried about getting there safely, right? Or whatever she said. It's just like you know what I'm saying? We all just kind of trying to be worried about, you know what I'm saying, making sure we get there. But if that's true, then the other side has to be true, which is what a lot of black people are saying. When we see black people in those types of positions, you know what we think? I'm about to get immaculate care because I know you had to grind and work 11,000 times harder to get in this position, to get in this spot. You read that textbook front and back. You took your residency, or you took your clinical time, or you took your whatever time serious. I know you had to knock that shit out of the park because I know this wasn't no easy walk for you because it's not enough of you to be in here doing the hokey pokey. You in here really locking in. You have to. Right? So when I look at that, I have the utmost confidence in my service because I know you had to grind at so much harder to be in a position to render it to me to begin with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the different perspectives and orientations black people and white people have toward the reality of how people are getting these positions to do the job in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why I hate the fact that it gets so caught up in, like, we actually got to respond to a conversation about merit. When that really, it doesn't have shit to do with it. None of Trump, Pete Hegseth has no fucking merit to be Secretary of Defense. None. We are seeing white privilege. We are seeing white privilege run rampant while they tell us the only reason black people are here is because they unqualified. It's only because they black. And it's like niggas don't take offense to that. You know what I mean? That's why it's like it's hard for me. It's hard for me to engage in the conversation because it's just like all of this, all the shit that we need to care about, we don't care about it until it's too late.
Yeah,
we don't care. It's like as soon as Trump did that shit with the Justice Department, every Trump supporter I had a conversation with that ever said that they rock with Donald Trump, I asked them straight up, is it pro-black to suspend the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department? Is that a pro-black thing to do? Niggas is like, well, nah, I mean, I disagree with that. But, man, there ain't no fucking but. Y'all niggas is supposed to be pro-black.
When are you ever satisfied? When are you done making excuses, bro? Miss Ma'am asked a question I want to get to. Miss Ma'am said, what do y'all think about the people resigning against Trump and Elon? Should they fight for the institution, or is the self-interest resignation the better option? Like, which is the best option for people in reality? What you think?
The hierarchies is the hierarchies. Trump is the man. There is no fighting back. Trump is the man. The people he put in positions and shit, they run that shit. The Congress, they got the majority in Congress. They got the majority in the Supreme Court. Fight back against what? Niggas ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, niggas ain't equipped.
Fight back and tell who? They took away the department that, for example, defends against like employment discrimination and shit. You can't take that. Exactly. You can't escalate. They're who to what office? He didn't dismantle that office. I think they did. Indefinitely. They're not trying cases. They're not looking at them.
But even in terms of federal employees, like any initiative, policy, group, focus, role, position that's associated with DEI, gone.
So you basically answer that question as I ain't got no choice either way. It just is what it is. You gotta. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, resign. Resign. What you fighting for? It's gone. Like once Trump won the second term, like that was society literally being like, we cool with going back a little bit. We made a little bit too much progress. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Joe Biden didn't progress shit, nothing. Like I told you, the nigga was a whole rebound president. And then what did America do? Get back with his ex. Yeah. Never a smart decision. never a smart decision, but we did it anyway. So here we are. You know, so it's like fight for what, man? Like, resign, bro. Go live your life. Go spend time with your grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, if the people wanted if the people wanted you to fight, they wouldn't have elected that nigga.
Okay. So, I mean, the plug is a realist. We attempt to be realist here. I'm realist with a heart. So like I get it, and ultimately I agree. It's just a hard pill to swallow, which is I think how a lot of people feel. So like a lot of people have emphasized during this time because the question is like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm concerned. I don't want to care. I don't want to be all wrapped up in the bullshit of it. But at the same time, like the shit is getting thick like every single day because it's not been a peaceful day since he took office. And so a lot of people are just like emphasizing self-care and unplugging and going and, you know, focusing on community and making sure, you know what I'm saying, you don't allow for these, you know, headlines to really get in your head. The idea of doom scrolling, which I'm really, really, really good at, you know what I'm saying? Like I hit a little 4-app combo. I go Twitter, TikTok, IG, Facebook in that order, like like I just kind of slide through them and see what's what, and by then I'm chock full of concern, and I don't want to do that. And so a lot of people saying, "Don't do that shit, get off of here," or whatever. Now the other side of it is other people are warning against doing that, right? Warning against like just completely unplugging, and they saying you got to stay tapped in, you got to stay kind of locked in, you at least got to find some balance. Matter of fact, play the clip from Lee. Shout out to Conscious Lee. Brody got on TikTok and made a TikTok about this exact kind of dilemma that I feel like we're in, and really kind of shaped some of, you know, I really think he just explained and articulated how I've been feeling, but also the reality of the situation. So hit that thumb real quick if you didn't do that already. Drop a comment. Hit the bell, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe, all of that fun stuff, so that we can stay connected while this video get pulled up.
All right.
Here you go.
Appreciate y'all. All right, let's get it.
But being habitually on your phone during the Trump presidency might not be the best for your mental health. But not being aware of the different legislations and, you know what I'm saying, policies that he revoking or pushing, you feel me, might make it where you know, survival might come into jeopardy, you know what I'm saying? So you really got to keep a balance of knowing what's going on in the world and not habitually being on your phone because, you know, we usually metaphorically use the term doom scrolling, but during Trump's presidency, it might just be literal, you know what I'm saying? So you got to protect your mind and your mental health because, man.
Looking at. So, tell you.
What's up?
Was it a word?
What you mean? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah. You fuck with it.
I mean, I feel like.
Go ahead.
You what?
No, go ahead.
And I can't see you, so if you can, take him off. But I feel like he to me, he left that video unresolved. I don't feel like Lee left that video with any clear resolve about what we should do. And I feel like that's kind of how I feel. Like I guess he said it need to be a healthy balance. But I guess that's the question I was going to ask you was like, what do you think is a healthy medium and what does that look like? Because like he reduced it down to survival. He literally was like, you know, the question of you being able to survive and navigate this shit. Like I literally am having to be the mouthpiece for my mama to let her know, for example, that Kansas is being overtaken by tuberculosis. You know what I'm saying? I'm having to be the one. Yes, like the state of Kansas has a tuberculosis outbreak. You need to check on your people. The shit is crazy right now. Right? I have to be the one to tell her neurovirus, whatever strand of the flu. I know 2 people with COVID right now. Like shit is out here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of crazy out here. And I need to be also now I have to tell her all her food finna go up. She need to hurry up and run the Hy-Vee and Price Chopper and go get what she can because with this little tariff situation, bro already said it's finna hurt. Justin Trudeau was like, this shit finna be crazy for everybody involved. And by the way, 100% tariff on Teslas. So we're gonna run it up here when we sell them. And oh yeah, by the way, y'all liquor and wine and shit like that we be getting from y'all. Yeah, we finna run it up too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all careful on that as well. So I have to make sure You know what I'm saying? That I know what's going on so I can direct my information to the right people, the people I care about the most. And so we clear, I'm from Missouri, but Missouri next door to Kansas, and Kansas and Missouri niggas mingle a lot. So I got to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what's happening right now. This is a Kansas and a Missouri nigga mingle.
Hello there. Chiefs all day. That's all we can agree on. But
what does
it look like?
Here's the thing. The problem that I have is that the balance doesn't exist on social media. You feel me? So it's like misinformation is so rampant. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And most people don't do enough of the work to try to break down and dissect the information that they getting in order for it to be valuable. Like, old boy that got up there and was like, if you a black or if you a parent, if you a parent that pay child support, you get to claim the kids on your taxes.
Yeah.
That nigga went viral off that shit. Everybody was like, yo, first, hold on, let me stick my camera. But everybody was like, yo, that's wild, right? This is a great thing. You feel me? But then what happens is it's a lie.
Yeah.
And everybody believes it. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole ass lie and everybody believes it. So that creates the problem with even finding a balance, because I don't think that your algorithm ain't trying to give you balance. It's trying to force you into the hole that it think you want to be in.
You know we can't see you, right?
Yeah, I'm fixing it.
Got you. I think the craziest part of navigating social media is knowing almost everything is an opinion post outside of like some like blue checks. But even blue checks, you could buy some here, you could pay for that credibility there, and even reliable, air quote, reliable, trusted names. Now I got to look at them sideways because have you been compromised? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many different steps of qualification and verification that I have to go through in my mind. It's just like everything is questionable. It's a sad day and we talked about community notes in the last episode and how fucking Wikipedia ass that shit is. But like, to see a post and then pray for a community note where somebody's clarifying and telling the truth about that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just a terrible way to live. Where I gotta hope that somebody else has the good sense, the wherewithal to go in and correct this post. Like, that's just not a good way to consume, SOS survival based information. But here we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, the egg and chicken situation, the recalls, it's all types of recalls of food that we don't get anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Let me look at the chat, make sure we tapped in with folks. Miss Ma'am said, beware what's going on so you can turn that information into real life action. Yes. And shout out to Andrea. Yes, you caught a live. We're happy to have you. Definitely happy you in the building. But to be aware of what's happening so you can turn that information into real action, I think a lot of people, I agree with that, but I'm going to tell you another conversation I'm seeing. A lot of people are saying, I feel helpless and I feel defenseless. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel, and I feel very alone. Like, society has organized it so that we feel very siphoned off. This is one of the disadvantages of shit like social media. A lot of people don't hang out in community, don't meet together. People don't go to, for example, places of worship that even Black people have gone to. Not that I'm saying you have to, but they've used it for double purposes. It's been places of faith, but also places of community engagement and just keeping news and sharing. Like, a lot of people not doing that no more. So they feel very alone, right? We don't have organic community organizing. We don't have a lot of the biggest institutions and most important in our institutions in our communities organizing and coming together, people in the cuts. And so everybody feel like, I know, are you seeing this shit? And then timelines be so crazy and so algorithm driven that it's like, are you even seeing what I'm seeing? Like, do you know about this? And then a lot of times people don't. You know what I'm saying? And like, that I think is the crazy part about having so many avenues of news. Not that it's bad, but it just creates quite the task when you're trying to figure out, hey, is this just some, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I want to describe it? Like, Friends corner cut news source, you know what I'm saying, breaking news sources, or is this common knowledge and shit that people are rallying around? And then to look out and not know who to go to. Let's not, or ignore that part. You don't really know like who to trust. And by who to trust, I mean you vote for these people and weird shit keep happening in the system that you voted into. So it's just like, Do
Don't
I
trust
write a letter
nobody.
to my senator? Does my senator give a fuck? Like, do I have a community leader that I can talk to? Well, nobody. And you know, my favorite thing to say, nobody can agree on who the hell that's supposed to be. But then, like, who? Where do I go? And so I look at tweets, and I just be wanting to be like, do anybody with power see this observation?
Nah,
This,
yeah, they see it. They
huh?
see it, but they see it. But here's the thing: we have to do all of those things and not trust nobody. We literally have to engage in the system. We gotta vote. We gotta go to these meetings. We have to not literally take part in the processes that's there and not trust any part of it. You just don't have a choice. You don't have a choice, and the problem is that that helplessness has to do with the fact that you believe that there was somebody out there, or that there was enough people out there. It's like, all right, I may think this, but I think it's enough people that's like they can all recognize this is bad, right? Like enough people, and it's like we starting to realize no, it's not enough people to recognize how bad shit can still get in 2025. It's not enough people who recognize the threat and really the fragility of the type of comfortability that especially marginalized people get, to whatever degree they get it. You know what I mean? And so you just what?
I don't know. I feel like, people don't know just how bad it can get and just how bad it can be. But I also feel like, man, people just are fucking broken and tired. Like, to think about the fact that this is the state of our society so soon after COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, COVID cooked people.
Yeah.
On multidimensional, neurological, sociological, psychological levels that are still being explored and researched and trying to be understood, and that people knew in the thick of it will be reverberating through our society for decades, right? We look at every sector of our society and we see the fingerprints of that shit. 2.5, 4 year. I just said a couple minutes ago, people still catching COVID. This time block that we're in right now just really did a doozy on our society, on the world. Capital WORLD. The world.
It was bad.
And so for us as a collective society to slide into this, I cannot help but to believe, and I'm gonna get there in a second. Can I whisper this? Can I say it with my chest? What can I say? Because this shit is about to be crazy.
Good.
And it's not unheard of, but it's just an incessant fear that I have. It's not going to be no midterms. It's not going to be no 2028 election.
Nah, it's going to be midterms. It's going to be midterms. Nah, I mean, because here's the thing. I think the reason why I think it's going to be midterms is because it's because that's the only way to fight back. That's the only way to protect shit.
But that don't mean it's going to be a midterms. Donald Trump is taking away people's opportunities to fight back.
Right, but what I'm saying is, though, it's certain things he can't touch. He can't touch voting rights. He can't touch voting rights. And just like he tried to touch naturalization, that shit got stop. These are literal constitutional amendments.
This man literally got up in front of everybody. And here's the thing. This is another important point that I want to point out. One thing COVID taught me, and that I think I knew, but it really was so blatant, and I want to know if you agree with me with this. One thing COVID taught me is that by the time we hear about some shit they've been new for a long ass time, they are just now shopping it to us and dropping it in little ways so that we go ahead and adjust at our own timelines to the reality that's already here. I really felt like that in terms of explanations of different outbreaks, different variants, I felt like it was very clear that everything we knew about was never really breaking news. It was breaking news to us, but it was some shit that was just very understood. And I wish I had more specific and prolific examples to animate this, but it's really just an understanding I came to about just how shit was moving, right? It's games being played, right? With the dissemination of information. So all of that to say, we heard Donald Trump say, you're not going to have to vote again.
He said
You
that.
not, and I don't, based on what we've seen, I can't look at that and be like, oh, he was just talking out of his ass. Oh, that's Donald Trump being Donald Trump. I feel like the machinations, the vision, the foresight, the strategery, the people capable of carrying that out have already configured it, thought about it, figured out how it was gonna play, shopped it amongst each other, said it was a go, and he just got loose lips that ain't sinking ships. And I feel like it's a way. You saying he can't, and I'm just like, I thought it was a whole bunch of stuff he could do either 12 days ago. 12
But see,
days ago.
nah, I mean the shit that he's done. Like for example, like okay, let's be clear, right?
Yeah.
The biggest shit was in terms of civil rights was the Justice Department shit. I mean, and actually, I can't even say that just because like the impact of the DEI shit when you had like when you know black when the government is one of the largest employers of black people in the country. Like that is those things are massive, but civil rights still exist. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still there. No, they are. Like,
I'm gonna tell you.
no, but they are though. And I'm not saying this to downplay. I'm not saying this to down. You know, I'm not trying to. You know what I'm saying? Like give Donald Trump no fucking credit. You know what I mean?
Let me say this though. When you say civil rights are still alive, like they're still there, it makes me laugh because I actually wore this hoodie yesterday, and it say black is a blessing on it. It say black is a blessing on it, and I live in Orange County, and people don't be minding my black ass no business. Like most of the time, people are kind enough, people are polite, but I feel like yesterday I wore this hoodie, and people was like they wanted me to know. I promise you, like 3 or 4 interactions I got. Like the man at 7-Eleven was like, "Oh, black is a blessing," and he was like, "Yes," and I was like, "Yes."
Hey, bro, listen. That's how you know niggas got it bad. If you could just walk around in some pro-black shit and everybody's just like, "Yes, bless your heart."
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
it's wild because I'm like, this could go one of 2 ways, man. Like I just knew putting it on, and I know where I'm at. You know what I mean? I feel that too, but it just tickled me for you to tell me and remind me because I feel like I was affirmed yesterday as well. Like my civil rights.
Yeah, like it's still like, yo, it's still there. It's just, you know, like I mean, I'll say it. Like conservatives won this round. Like they got back and some from. You know what I'm saying? Like they got back for Barack Obama, and then they doubled back.
No,
they spent the block. You know what I'm saying? So that this is where we are now. We've been through. Now I say this though because we've been through. You know, we fairly young. You know, mid-30s. That's still fairly young.
I'm pretty. I don't know. You are like on a different curve at this point than I am, but
fuck out here.
I don't want to.
You were still born in the 80s, right? You were still born in the 80s.
I made it. It's like getting in the fourth quarter, the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. I was born.
It don't matter. It's the you was born in the 80s. That's
the last year.
Being born in the 80s is like was like when motherfuckers was born in the 60s when we was kids.
I was playing in garbage time. My nigga, like the decade was already up. I was just kind of there to sew things up. Carry on.
But the you know, it's been work. Like niggas had Reagan. You know what I mean? I think the shocker is that like we didn't expect Reagan again. You feel me? Like if you got like when you got somebody like, you know, we came up during George Bush. We made it through that. You know what I'm saying? And Democrats was on the same shit. You know, Kanye was like, George Bush don't care about black people. Then turned around and supported Donald Trump. That's, you know, it's we made it through all that type of shit. You feel me? And I feel like there is a resilience. There is a resistance. I think Democrats had to die the death that they died. If we being honest, I think they had to. Because they once niggas was like, I'm so anti-Democrat that I'm willing to support a Republican. You lost.
Okay.
You lost. Even though it was only 20%. 80% is still like the majority of black people was not fucking with no Donald Trump. But to get 20%, significant. It's the most ever.
You said a couple of things now that I think are a good hook to get to my next question. The first thing you said, there were 2 things. One thing you said was Republicans won this round, right? Which then implies that there are other rounds to be won. Then I don't know if this is contradictory, but alongside that, another thing that really kind of caught my attention that you said was that Democrats are dead. right? So then, if there's other rounds, then who is to fight, right? Like,
That's, I mean, that's what we're
and
gonna
you can
find
respond
out.
to that
You know,
tension. You can
remember
respond to
it
that.
used to. I'm off.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
What you
I
got?
was just saying you can respond to that tension. I was gonna use it to kind of make a pivot, but respond to that. Like you did say things that could maybe on the surface seem contradictory. How do you marry? How do you
Well,
solve that?
because with like the resistance still exists. It's just that Democrats have lost control of that. So what that resistance is going to look like moving forward, who knows? But it's not going to be Kamala Harris. It's not going to be, Nancy Pelosi. It's not going to be a Clinton. You know what I mean? So given the genealogy of Democratic politics since we've been alive, those have been the names that's been the face of it. Obama, Clinton, now Biden, Harris. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really been it. None of them have any significant influence with the resistance. You feel me?
You see they elected a new president of the DNC, some younger white man.
I ain't see
Uh,
it.
yeah, his name is something. Barack Obama
Yeah,
posted something being
that
like,
man,
"Oh,
that man, wholly irrelevant. Cause DNC, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, they do. They thinking about they wrestling and
Yeah,
bustling. Got a
but
train
it's
on the track. They got some plans coming together. They
but it's
hiring
look,
people.
but the problem was it's like y'all motherfuckers use you got Joe Biden talk about what's it called? Cause this is resolving the tension about
Yeah,
being
result.
dead and still having it. There's still rounds to fight. But the Democratic Party, as we know it, their talking points, their influence, what they stood on, is dead.
Okay. So then I guess with that being said, I feel like a lot of people feel like and this is in a world where I told you everybody feels segmented, everybody feels fractured off, everybody feels like they siloed away from everybody else, and people don't know where to go next or how to centralize. A lot of people feel like in order to feel hope, they need or they want that to come from Democrats. A lot of people have been like, "Where art thou? Like, where are you? Why are you missing? Why are you not saying things to these moments?" I've been seeing Kamala in hoops and in leather jackets, looking cute at the grocery store, living her life. Everybody else is kind of ducked off doing whatever. Then you also
Why?
and I kind of get to this other question, but I guess my question is, how do you feel about the Democrat silence / absence from the current landscape of what's going on?
What do they have to say? What do they have to say? What do you want from them? Listen, the Democrats had an election where they could have took over the government, or could have stayed in control of the government. Y'all didn't want them. Who are these people asking for Democrats? It can't be the same motherfuckers that was just like, y'all can't make us vote for genocide Joe and.
I think a lot of them is the scared Democrats that voted.
Oh yeah, y'all got if we talking about to the Democrats that voted, y'all got to get that up. Let it go. Like you asking somebody for, like, they already took that ass whooping for you. They ain't make it through. So it's like, I know, like, that's who you got your that's who you put your money on. That money is gone.
You're just saying shit like that. You got to work through.
That what for? Like, what are we asking of them?
I mean, and the other side of it, I say, what are we asking of them? And the ones that's left, honestly, I feel like they've been trying to fight the good fight, in these confirmation hearings. I don't know to what extent, but I feel like you looking for them. They've been in there trying to just ask good, crystal clear. Because I've seen clips from, I'm talking about all the heavy hitters: Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. Everybody's in there asking the tough questions. People still getting confirmed, but that's
still getting confirmed. That's my point.
From this cabinet, fight the cabinet.
They're still getting confirmed, Toya. Does that, hold on, hear me out though. Does that not make it worse? Does that, the fact that Democrats can make such great points, they can address and interrogate a lot of what's wrong with these people, and then we get to see it. We get to see, like, he can't even answer this question, and this is how he responded to this question, and I can't believe he responded that way, right? Just to then know that they're going to get confirmed on some partisan bullshit. What
I mean, they just don't got the
we want
majority.
theater? Is that what we want? We want theater. We want them. We want them asking the hard hitting questions. I'll watch 60 Minutes for the hard hitting questions. Do something or stop something.
I mean, but what do they do when like we know the numbers are as tight as they are? I think they need what in order to win. They need what 3 Republicans and the vice president to not vote their way or some wild shit. And you never gonna get JD Vance. He's gonna break every tie the same
Every
way.
time.
One of her biggest accolades was that she was a tie-breaking ass.
Yeah.
Got you there. Got you there.
Yeah.
I think like 50 some odd ties that she broke
The most.
on her. You know,
The
what I'm saying?
most.
The most of any vice president. And so knowing that he could wield that power, like that is, I mean, I guess a very cumbersome reality to have to fall into. I guess my last question is this: do you think voters will remember this silence and absence in 2026? Will they feel like Democrats gave up and ran? Will they understand that Democrats are less in power? What are your projections for 2026 and where we go from here, considering that is the most political of the options we have to fight back? Also, the invocation of the 25th Amendment, which is, what does it say specifically?
The 25th.
I feel like that's Congress's
about Donald Trump being incompetent or something like that.
I feel like that's what it is. Let me see. 25th Amendment.
Yeah.
25th Amendment says that outlines the order of presidential succession and how to fill vacancies in the office of the president or the vice president. Was ratified February 1976. I don't know. I feel like,
but it's so here's I guess this is what you're talking about. If Congress determines the president is unable to perform his duties, the vice president continues as acting president until the president's ability to perform their duties is restored. Congress can determine if the president is unable to perform his duties by 2/3 vote in both houses. So Congress, if 2/3 of Congress is like, yeah, nigga, you can't. Yeah, then maybe, but yeah.
That ain't gonna happen.
No.
Because then even then, I mean, some shit happened with that. JD Vance gonna come in and say today he the next person up. You know what I'm saying? So it just continues to get worse from here. It ain't like he got no conscience.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what we do though is like we do something different. We like literally do something different. Stop bickering about fucking Democrats and Republicans. Stop running with cable news talking points. Stop allowing, algorithms and cable networks to shape what you care about and what fucking matters, bro. Like, stop allowing them to do that shit. Stop getting caught up with wholly irrelevant shit and when it doesn't matter. Kamala Harris being black. Kamala, like that mattered more than protecting civil rights, I guess. Like, it's that type of shit. Do something different. Yeah, I mean, don't jump from party to party. Don't make it about, but what about Republicans? But what about Democrats? Don't do that shit. Fuck them all. Fuck both of them. Everybody always be like, man, they the same sides of the same coin. But then we'd be the first motherfuckers to be like, but Republicans. It's like, and I get the but Republican shit, but at the same time, it's like, bro, once you realize you arguing for white nationalism either way.
Yeah, you gotta do some second and third level thinking. Well, folks, like we try to get to y'all every week. Hopefully this week will be a little bit more quiet. I think it's just like a bad kid, a little toddler. Quiet could be bad. So
yeah. Actually, I need to go check on my son.
My Lord, look at me making the dots. I'm prophetic. Thank you, Holy Ghost. I don't know, man. Stuff is thick. I just hope that we are able to, like you said, come together enough to do something different enough to make some type of influence. All we can do is focus on ourselves, not stick our head in the sand, and stay connected to each other and to what's going on. If you tapped in and want to hear more conversations, want to have more community, this is a community, right? The Chop Nation is vibrant and live, and we be in here talking to each other and sharing. So hit the bell, hit the thumb. Make sure you come back and see us. We try to go live every Thursday, but if not Friday or Saturday, we try to find a spot and an opportunity. I dare to believe next week won't be too different from that. So hit the bell. So
I know we didn't do this on purpose, but we both did the gray hoodie with the yellows, with the yellow t-shirt.
I mean, and to be clear, this is Chiefs on the front and Mahomes on the back because we finna win the Super Bowl next week. So, you know, this is the synergy and the energy we be on here in Chop Nation. We love each other. We love Miss Ma'am. We love Andrea. We love Pure Black, G.A. Freeman.
Everybody that pulled up,
I'm into the
definitely.
most cartoon. Jamal, everybody's love. People who didn't even say nothing but being here watching. I see it's like 17 of y'all in here. We definitely appreciate y'all. The people who gonna watch it after the fact, make sure you hit that plug, hit that thumb. Matter of fact, plug. Tell the people about the debate again. That way they know where to find you and what time and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, so the debate 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Uh I dropped the name of the channel. It's my dog Psychopatheist. I think his name got something to do with atheism because he an atheist.
Okay.
So uh and just I just dropped his the name of his channel in there. So that's where to be. The title of the debate is Can you be anti-immigration and black first? Can you be anti-immigration and black first? So y'all pull up over there, Psycho Channel at 5:30. My homie Taz, I'm gonna have to give him this work. I'm gonna have to give him this
Yeah.
work. So
You heard it here first. Make sure y'all tap into the debate. Make sure y'all tap in next week. We love you. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. I think probably we should have said it officially because don't know, no policies scare me, change nothing. I'm hyper, super, ultra black. Like I told y'all, I'm probably gonna put this
always,
and be moving around and say black is a blessing. I think that's a fact. Um, Happy Black History Month.
I
Yeah.
need to pull out my what it's the shirt my mama got me that I am Black History joint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
Classic.
got I gotta
Classic.
get the I am Black History joint.
Photo shoot. Let's do that for 2025, man. Like really,
We do need to do photo shoot. We do need
we
to
need some
do
new
it.
pictures. We need stuff. You still owe me a hoodie. All right, let's go. We'll close it up. Thank you all. I don't want to talk in the past. I want to look in the future.
Hey, with that, we appreciate y'all. This the Chop Up. We out.
Love you. Peace.
Peace. All right.